Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Becca Jo. It has been several hot minutes since I have had the chance to film a video, but I've been dabbling into some new makeup, trying out some new brands, and I just wanted to share them with you today. The reason that I have been not on YouTube is not for any existential reason. It's just life has been lifing, and I was also at a point that I didn't realize where I kind of just needed to take a social media break for a little while. So everything is good over here. I hope the same for you. Let's just get right into it. I believe I have 5 new brands to share with you today. These are new to my collection entirely, the products and the brands themselves. Many of these brands were first mentioned or introduced to me through Alexa Blake. She's also gone by Alexa Chan. I will make sure that her channel and then specifically the video where she introduced a lot of these brands is listed in the description box if you care to check that out. She is obviously a much larger channel than I am, so there's definitely a chance you've already seen her, but highly recommend following her. I have been a big fan of hers for a long time, and I continue to be a big fan. First things first, the makeup on this face has been on for 7 hours at least, maybe a little bit more. I retouched the lips and I added a splash more blush. I don't even know that it's showing up much on camera. I didn't have a lot of blush on today already, and I just wanted to add a little bit more before I came on camera. So here we are. I'm wearing a new to me foundation, and I am so very impressed so far with how it's wearing, how it's playing. I also have a new concealer on, and I think so far it looks really good. I've got maybe a little bit of mascara bleeding down under this eye, but not anything crazy. Everything looks very skin-like. Part of that, I think, is that I have been putting more attention into my skin prep, especially skin prep before makeup, but also just skin prep in general. I think, I don't know if it's a stage of life thing or what, but I'm kind of like reaching this point where I still love makeup, but I want to have good skin. I want to feel comfortable in my own skin, and I've never hesitated to walk out of the house without makeup on, but I just want to know that my skin is good and is healthy. I'm blessed to have generally good skin, and so I want to take care of it. And not just take care of it in the short term, but take care of it in the long term. Okay, so let's get into the first brand that I have to talk about. I actually have 2 orders from. They were the first purchase that I've made in kind of this new grouping, as well as the last purchase that I've made. So that brand is Kingdom Come Home. I actually do have an affiliate link with the brand, which is pretty cool. I don't know that there's any sort of discount or a affiliate discount code or anything like that, but it is an affiliate link. So if you click on it and then at some point use that link, I like to save tabs in my browser. So if at some point through that link you make a purchase, it gets back to me and there's a little bit of a kickback for that, and they pay out every so often and yada yada. Anyway, Kingdom Come Home is the brand. In the first order that I made, I picked up 4 products. Those are Butterfly Pea Toner. So this is just a toner. You put it on a little cotton swab and then over your face. And this is so gentle on my skin, so nice, hydrating. It does really well to prep for the next step of skincare. I used to be very focused on like more abrasive skincare type things, salicylic acid, exfoliation. I'm not saying those things are bad, but I've lately, increasingly more and more for the last couple years, been focusing more on hydrating products. This in the hydrating category, chef's kiss. This is beautiful on my skin. The number of ingredients in here is 7. 7 ingredients in this little bottle, and that's it. That's one of the things that I really appreciate about Kingdom Come Home, but also many of these other brands. So there's a small number of ingredients. That's something that my skin really appreciates, something that you really aren't finding in the mega stores, Ulta, Sephora, Target, Walgreens, etc. The brands generally sold in those stores have complex formulas, and they tend to be really pretty. They're really nice, but I'm like leaning into the more natural and even more organic options that are available. So toner, big fan. It comes in a nice glass bottle. I've had it for, we'll say, a month, give or take, and I've used this much, and I use it once a day, probably at least 5 days a week. So very, very happy with this purchase. Also in this same order, I got this Blue Tansy Foundation Primer, another glass bottle, and this one has 3 ingredients. 3 ingredients. Those are aloe vera, which I already know that my skin likes, blue tansy, and frankincense essential oil. That was a mouthful. All 3 of those ingredients are listed as organic. This is very nice on the skin. It's another moisturizing step right before you put on foundation, but it's not like goopy. It's thin. If you've ever put aloe vera on your face, it's thin like a gel, naturally, aloe vera. So it kind of like dries down. It doesn't necessarily leave a tack. I don't know if I can explain it very well, but it dries down without drying out. So it is great. It's a beautiful combination for a foundation primer. I've been enjoying this. I've worn this almost every single day, I think, since I picked it up. So really enjoying it. It doesn't look like I've touched it at all. It might last forever. 3rd out of 4 products in this order, I got the Beef Tallow in Milk Whipped Foundation. This is in the shade 1. This is a very pretty foundation. It is a little bit of a lighter coverage. I would say a light or light medium coverage. This shade is maybe a little bit yellow on me, but it's not terrible. And I was kind of surprised. So the first time or 2 that I wore it, put it on the face and then blended it out with a damp sponge, which is just my preferred way to put a foundation on. And I have since found, so when I do it that way, I don't like really blend it out on my face first. I just let the sponge do it. More of that yellow or orange undertone comes through. But if I'll show you the texture of it in just a second, but if I put some of it like on my fingers and then actually like physically rub it into my skin and then just finish the blending out with the sponge, that undertone kind of isn't there as much, so it blends into my skin tone more. I'm sure it's a matter of like how it's actually applying to my skin that makes the difference, but this is a very, very pretty foundation. This is a very nice everyday foundation. It maybe has a little bit more, it's not like a super matte finish. Maybe it's not really dewy or I guess a satin. It's very, very skin-like. It's very moisturizing. Skin-like on the moisturizing side is how I would describe it, but it's very pretty and I am enjoying this. This is a very nice everyday foundation. It's another glass bottle with a plastic pump that twists. There's a little symbol on there that we can twist the cap off and on, so I like that. So it's not a super liquidy foundation. They call it a whipped foundation, so it has maybe a little bit more of that moussiness to it. If I blend it out, you can see it's got a little bit of that orange or yellow undertone, but I can't explain to you. It does go away if you blend it in. The texture of it, I would say, reminds me of MAC Studio Radiance, where it almost like changes texture when you blend it in with your fingers and gives it just a little bit more tackiness to it in a way. I think that this definitely has more coverage than Studio Radiance, but it is a very pretty, very gentle, very nice foundation. 4th and final item of this purchase is this Black Onyx Lash Mascara. This one has more than just a couple of ingredients, but it's also a really nice, like, feels higher end kind of lash mascara. It's a smaller tube, and I'll show you what the wand looks like. Here is the wand. I thought based on this wand that I was not going to enjoy this mascara. I am wearing it today, and I'll show you a close-up here. I think that it is a nice mascara. It goes on really well. It does not irritate my eyes. It adds a little bit of volume. It's not super lengthening. I have very blonde lashes, so if I'm wearing mascara, that's all you're going to see is where the mascara is. So I really like my mascara to cling to my lashes and to fluff them up and pull them out. I want the most for my mascara. I'm kind of a harsh critic on mascaras. This one is good. This one is nice. I think it may do a little bit of smudging throughout the day. It's not terrible. It is not terrible. The Essence mascaras that I've tried in the past were pretty rough, but this one is overall very nice. I enjoy it. I'm going to keep using it. I have one other mascara in my collection that I haven't tried from these purchases, so I'm definitely going to keep trying things out. But yeah, I am happy with this one. The second brand, the second order that I have made is from Mama Max Organics. This is a brand that popped up on my Instagram feed, and for the mascara, it's funny that we just talked about the Kingdom Come Home mascara. Now we're going to talk about Mama Max Organics mascara, which I have not tried yet. So that popped up, and I usually try to make myself think through things before I click purchase. Think through the purchase, make sure that this is the purchase that I want to make within, you know, this day, this week, whatever it is. I clicked purchase on these 3 products so quickly, and I'm so glad that I did. Okay, so the 3 things that I purchased from Mama Max Organics, again, I have yet to try, but in this little bag, we have 2 spoolies and a little mascara tin. This tin, they call the Moo-scara block. So cute. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Mascara with 4 ingredients. I'm blown away by that. That's so cool. Obviously it will take vetting to decide if those 4 ingredients work well for mascara, but I also just like the tactile experience of being able to put the spoolie in the mascara and then put the mascara on the lashes. I've never had a mascara like that before. But yeah, that I cannot imagine. That's so cool to me that there's a mascara option with only 4 ingredients, and they are organic grass-fed tallow and finished tallow, organic beeswax, organic castor oil, and activated charcoal. Those are all ingredients that I'm familiar with that are real ingredients, and the aluminum tin, so cute. So I'll keep you posted when I try that. I'm gonna finish up the Kingdom Come Home mascara that I have before I open this one and start using it. So I don't even think you're supposed to have to wet the product at all. I think you're supposed to be able to just stick the spoolie into the otherwise dry formula there and then put it onto your lashes. So very excited to try that. I just counted, I think this product has 8 ingredients, but this is the Holy Grail face cream. It is primarily tallow, and then it's got Seabuckthorn oil, carrot seed oil, a few other types of oil, beeswax, rosemary oil, with infusions of, I did not count this in the 8, chamomile flowers, calendula flowers, and marshmallow root. So this is my first attempt to trying a tallow. I know that Alexa, if you watch any of her videos, she loves tallow. She talks about tallow all the time. So I was excited to give this a try. And then I think that this one claims to have some anti-aging benefits and all of that. So I've tried this a few times. I've tried it at night. My skin really likes it. It's really nice. I don't want to overwhelm it you know, I have a little bit of sensitive skin, so I don't want to cause any sort of reaction. That's why I've been doing every other day kind of thing with it. But yeah, it's really, really nice. It is moisturizing. It is thick, but I'm enjoying it. Glad I picked it up. One of the things that I've enjoyed with everything that I have purchased and everything that I have tried is that there is no fragrance added. Any scent that these products may have is from the organic ingredients included. So it's very natural. Like the foundation primer has the frankincense essential oil. So that's a very natural scent to it. And for that reason, I'm okay with it. And that one's actually, it's a little bit strong at first, like when I first opened the bottle, but now I don't even notice it with the primer. But anyway, if you're not new here, you know, I generally try to avoid scents in my face products just to keep an even playing field, but happy to report that all of the scents in these are not some, you know, secret ingredient Chanel or whatever that we don't really know what's in the added perfume. These are all natural ingredients, so they have very natural smells, and I like them, and then the scents kind of go away after you've put them on and all those sorts of things. One of the products, if not the product, that has excited me the absolute most throughout all of this new direction with my makeup has been the Cocoa Contour Stick from Mama Max. So this is the 3rd and final item that I purchased in my Mama Max order, and this is probably the reason that I clicked purchase so quickly. They call this a creamy cocoa tinted contour balm made with grass-fed tallow, shea butter, beeswax, and vitamin E. shimmer-free, buildable, 100% non-toxic, free from fragrance, parabens, and silicones. Ingredients, which are all organic, include grass-fed beef tallow, shea butter, beeswax, cocoa powder, vitamin E, and naturally occurring iron oxide. 6 ingredients in a contour. Cream contour, smells like chocolate because it's cocoa. It's not like a super sweet chocolate, it's like true cocoa scent. I can't, guys, I can't. I am so excited. I have worn this every single day since I purchased it. I am loving this. So if you know me, not that I dislike a bronzer, but I find more often than not that things titled bronzer are orange or yellow, and it's just kind of not my thing. I have a couple both cream and powder bronzers from Sydney Grace that I enjoy. Those are warmer, and I wear them in the warmer months. To now have a contour stick that, I'll show you the color and the texture in just a second, I can wear all year round. I love this. I am so excited by this. So the top is a twist top, and then I don't know if I need it, but I've been keeping the little plastic protector, kind of like what deodorant typically comes with, keeping that on the end. Oh, it smells so good. It's like I said, it's not like sweet, but it does smell like chocolate because of the cocoa. That's where the color is coming from. So this on me is like, it's not a gray toned contour because I don't think a gray toned contour looks good on most people. When we think of contour, we think of cooler tones. When we think of bronzer, we think of warmer tones. I like that smack dab in the middle, and if anything, I like it to have maybe a hint of rosiness to it, but I really like a true neutral on my complexion. This is a true neutral because it's cocoa. Okay, I'm rambling on. So here is the color on my hand. They call this buildable. I think it's absolutely buildable. I typically take this and just kind of scribble it onto my cheek. I hope to do a get ready with me soon. I just kind of scribble it onto my cheek and then up onto my forehead and my temples where I like to put my bronzer / contour, my bronzer, and then a little bit on my nose. And then I've been enjoying this brush from Moda. They call this a large blur brush. I take this and I just kind of like push it into where I want it, and it blends out and it lasts all day and it looks so good. It's a true neutral. I'm so excited, guys. I like this more than most of, here's it blended out on my palm. See how like true neutral that is? Here's the unblended, here's the blended with the brush. It's like, it's the most beautiful, actually neutral bronzer product possibly that I have in my collection. I do have others from Ulta and drugstore that I enjoy the shade of, but if I had found this first, I don't know if I ever would have tried those. I am so delighted by this product. The brand also they have several other products, but they also have a blush and a bronzer and a highlighter in this type of stick form. I'm intrigued. I have not purchased them yet, but I'm delighted by this cocoa contour stick. Next purchase, I have 5 products from Elevate Beauty. So Elevate Beauty has been on my radar for quite some time. I may have made a purchase as a gift for a friend at one point, but I've never purchased anything for myself. I am finding myself, it's a season, I'm sure, not as investing my time and energy and thought into eyeshadow, but really loving to play up the lips a bit more. It could just be that it's fall time, and in the fall I find that I can get away with a bit of a deeper lip. I love more of a statement lip any time of the year, but I don't always do that, and a lot of times I spend more of my energy on my eyeshadow, so then I need to downplay my lips. But I do love a nice pigmented, bold, either in depth or in color lip. So I invested in a few products from Elevate Beauty. I picked up 3 of her lip liners. Alexa did a whole video. She's done at least a video about all of the lip liners from Elevate Beauty, but I believe a video just talking about other lip products from the brand as well. At this point, they only do lip liners, matte lips, and glossy lips. So I have the shades Comeback Season, Powder Room, and Mom Era. Here are those 3 shades. Again, Comeback Season, Powder Room, and Mom Era. I have worn Powder Room, which is the kind of mauve pink in the middle, the most frequently. These are a really nice, really smooth formula, so I'm excited to have these and enjoying these. I am wearing Mom Era on my lips as well as a Sydney Grace lip cream. This is the shade Charissa. That is this neutral, I don't know what you'd call this, neutral brownish kind of lip that I've got today. I really enjoy it. I have been, speaking of getting back into lippies, been loving my Sydney Grace lip creams again. I have a whole bunch in a Sydney Grace cart. I haven't clicked purchase just yet, but maybe. By the time you see this, I may have purchased them. I also picked up 2 of the Elevate Beauty matte lips. So this is She Will Not Fall and this is Grace. Here we have She Will Not Fall and Grace. And these might look a little bit similar on my hand. Grace is a little bit lighter and cooler tone. She Will Not Fall is a little bit more maybe warm and deeper. Both very pretty shades, both Becca Jo shades. I picked these up and I'm excited to try them. I have worn both of the matte lips and I think all of the lip liners out of the house. I've definitely worn them in the house. They're all very, very pretty. I find for myself for a full day, a matte lip is a little bit drying. These don't look drying. They don't feel drying. I just like the extra moisture of something like a lip cream from Sydney Grace. So I really like these products. I will absolutely continue to wear them. I might even end up purchasing more. I have not tried her glossy lips yet, which would clearly be a little bit more my speed, but I'm very excited, enjoying those. Happy to have some lip liners. I had purchased about 1,000 from Give Me Glow like a year ago, and those are, I got them all for like $1 a piece. Those are nice, but several of them are starting to dry out. It happens, I say a year. I don't know how long it's actually been, but some of those are starting to dry out. And while I was in this, like, let's support some of these good brands, I decided to pick up these from Elevate Beauty. Happy that I did, happy to continue wearing them. Next purchase is Adele Natural Cosmetics. So this is a brand kind of like Elevate Beauty that's been on my radar for quite some time, and I may have purchased something for a friend, but I have not tried them myself. So they were having an anniversary sale a week or a couple weeks ago, so I picked up a few items, and when I tell you the packaging and the formulas on these are luxurious. Like, I'm happy with the packaging of everything that I've got in front of me, but these, like, this feels like Westman Atelier, except like maybe nicer. I've only had a couple things from Westman Atelier. This might be nicer packaging. It's so nice. So the things that I bought, I got 4 things from Adele. I picked up this Duo Balm. This particular item, which has changed names, I want to say they used to call it like moisturizing facial stick or something along those lines, but they changed it to Duo Balm. It's just a moisturizing balm. So you kind of like, well, what do you do with that? I had really chapped lips the other day. I was not drinking enough water and just like all of my skin was dry. Put this on my lips. Beautiful. The back of my hands were super chapped because I had washed my hands, again, not drinking enough water. And so my hands were super chapped. Put this on the back. Beautiful. This is really nice. I think this is going to come in handy, especially in the winter. If you are dry skin, this may be something that helps when you find a dry patch or whatever it may be. I think that this is going to be just a really nice go-to product. I think if you have especially dry skin and you want to moisturize your face, you want to add just that much more moisture before you go in with your foundation, this could be great. They also have a stick foundation and a cream foundation, and they recommend, I think for both of them, that putting the Duo Balm on before the foundation really helps the foundation to blend out. So I think that it's a smart item for that sort of thing. But yeah, also the packaging, so nice. Same packaging, different product. This is a cream blush, and I picked this up out of curiosity. This is the shade Pink Melon. They only had so many swatches on the site, so I couldn't really tell what it would look like, but it looked like a pink melon, which is the name of the shade. Okay, it was pink, but like had this slight bit of brightness to it. I find that a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times I found a blush leans into a brown. And I think there is a beautiful time and place for a brown blush. I kind of like a brighter blush, and that could be because of my complexion. I'm pretty fair. And so a brown blush, not that it does nothing, but it doesn't always do what I want. I want something to have some color to it. This pink melon shade is exactly that. I wore it today for the first time, and I have noticed that this is very pigmented, so I went light-handed when I put it on this morning, and I did tap on a powder blush on top. But the formula here is just so pretty. So I hope you saw that one swipe. Look at that color. Like, that's such a good spring, summer color. Don't get me wrong, I'll wear it whenever I want, but it's definitely good for those seasons, I think. I don't know that they purport this to be like satin or matte. I would say it lends very natural. Kind of just blended out like the end of it here. So you can see, I would say it's kind of a natural matte, like it's more matte, but it's not a flat matte. It's very, got a slight sheen to it, but that is such a pretty color, and I'm very happy to have that. I am so tempted by the formula and the packaging to pick up more shades. I have so many cream blushes from Sydney Grace that I really, really love, so I don't want to rush into just buying more because it's beautiful, but at some point I'll probably be adding more of those to my collection. I'm also curious about their foundations, and they have a bronzer stick that it looks warmer, so it may not be my cup of tea, and that's okay. But I'm curious about the foundations especially. So if you have ever tried, or you know of anybody who has the foundations from Adele Natural Cosmetics, please let me know. The last two items that I picked up from Adele are the pot liners, pot gel liners, I think is what they're described as. I have soft black and dark brown. These are the two shades that they have on their website. Alexa has talked about this dark brown and just how much she loves it. So there's the dark brown shade. Here's the soft black shade, just as you would expect. These are very nice, very, very nice. I wore the dark brown as a little bit of a wing liner once, and I wore the soft black today. Very, very, very little of it. I took an angled brush, similar to this one, dipped it in there, and then before putting mascara on, really just like wiggled it up close to my lashes, just on the outer portion of my eye, just to add a slight bit of shadow and dimension there. It is not dramatic. It is not intense. If I hadn't told you that, I probably wouldn't know that it's there. So, but that's okay. I just wanted just a little bit. I honestly didn't have time to do anything more than that this morning, but I think that those are beautiful formulas, and I'm excited to continue playing with them. Okay, we are making good progress. I have 2 purchases left, and both of those came yesterday. So I have not tried everything from these just yet. The first of those last 2 is Candid Naturals. So this is a brand, again, that Alexa has talked about. She's talked about their primer and that she likes their makeup primer. So this is a sample size, and then I have 3 of the same little bottle of their foundation. They call this their Nourish Perfect Liquid Foundation. Here's the label of it for your entertainment. I think this is genius. I love so much that the brand did this. First of all, you actually get enough to try the product. Second of all, it doesn't come in a weird squeezy thing. Like a lot of like this type of sample card, this is for Ilia's Super Serum Skin Tint. I haven't even opened it because it's going to be messy and I don't feel like dealing with it. And it's hardly enough to even put on your face as a swatch to figure out if it's the right shade. Here we have itty bitty glass bottles that have, I believe, a little spatula in them. Yeah, a little spatula. So you can actually like get a feel for what the foundation is. And I am so excited to give these a try. The foundation, but also just like picking the shade. So I've got 01, 02, and 0.5. I'm excited to try those out. Also, the brand does it so that if you are only purchasing samples in your purchase, it's free shipping. I think it was $8 to try these. So while that may be, you know, $8 could go towards a foundation, but now I don't have to guess. Like, these brands are not in stores where I can go in and put a swatch in my hand, figure out which one I like, return it if I don't. Some of these brands have a return policy, but like, it's so much easier to find your right shade if you can do samples. And I've thought that this was a good idea before I even knew that Candid Naturals did this, just like as a concept in my head. Never told anybody, never put it into words, but I love this. So I have not tried these yet. The ingredients are not on the bottle, but they are definitely on the natural side. And I know that Alexa has really enjoyed their primer, so I will keep you posted when I try those, how I feel. Last purchase for today's video was my second purchase from Kingdom Come Home. Like I mentioned, I was so impressed by that first purchase that I immediately started a collection. They also, for becoming an affiliate, which is totally just available on their website that they have to approve you for, those sorts of things, there was a little bit of a discount on making another purchase in their, I think it's in their like a best sellers category. So some of these came at a discounted price, fully paid for by myself, but I am excited. 3 of the 7 products in front of me I have tried, but just once. So I have opinions, but they're limited experience opinions. I did also get 3 additional items that I will not be showing you because they are a gift for a friend. And she might see them before this video. Once this video goes up, it hasn't had them yet. So let's start with the things that I have not yet tried. I picked up the Spearmint and Clay toothpaste. I have been sold out on one particular, I want to say it's Crest Scope toothpaste or something like that, for several years. It's a great toothpaste. I love it. But why not give this a try? I think it was a good price, and I think I got the smaller of the 2 options, and they have a few flavors. I like a minty toothpaste, so I don't know. Alexa talked about this, I think, in one of her Instagram stories, and she said that they were enjoying it, so I picked it up. I also picked up this Snail Essence Moisture Cream. So this is going to be a moisturizer for me. It's still got like the seal on it. I haven't opened it yet, but the type of lid, you take the lid off, and then the component where you kind of push down and it comes up into the middle to where the moisturizer actually is. So I am excited to try this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ingredients in a moisturizer. Awesome. I also picked up Betox eye cream. They also have a Betox serum that is very intriguing. I think it was either out of stock or I just decided to start with the eye cream and maybe using the eye cream, but even using it all over the face. We'll see. Let me read you the ingredients on these. Royal jelly, pure bee venom, organic argan oil, organic rose hip oil, pure cocoa butter, fresh shea butter, and Optifan. Apparently, I didn't know this. Apparently, when done correctly, I'm sure, the like bee venom and those sorts of things are like an anti-aging. Like, I don't know. I don't have bee allergies that I know of. I will definitely be warning my husband when I try this, like, keep an eye for me, help me make sure that this isn't, you know, irritating my skin, but with all the natural ingredients, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm intrigued how bee byproducts might have these effects. Anti-aging, tightening, I'm not sure. That's pretty cool. I also picked up this wild yam root cream, quite honestly, out of pure curiosity. This is one of those things that's supposed to help women. So we'll see. I thought it was cool. And is it necessary? I'm not sure, but I picked it up, and we'll give it a try and I'll keep you posted. Last 3 items, and I have used these one time. The first item, I used this before I went to bed last night. This is the Restore Blemish Spot Treatment. This doesn't have like the number of ingredients on it, but I want to say it's like half a dozen or something like that. as is everything from Kingdom Come Home. It's got a little roller ball on the end, and so it's meant to help with blemishes. So I tend to have blemishes lately a lot like under the surface, right around like, I don't know if you'd call this the corners of my mouth, but like down here. And they don't, sometimes they get all irritated and like red and all that, usually from me. So I just added a little bit of this to those spots last night and then did my regular moisturizer and stuff. So yeah, I'll keep trying this and we'll see how it does. Last two items, and these I have on my face today. I have the Kingdom Come Home Second Skin Organic Liquid Foundation in the shade 1 and the cream concealer in the shade Fair 1, both on my face. Let me swatch them for you. So the Second Skin Organic Liquid Foundation has an airless pump. It is a plastic bottle from what I can tell. So I left the Tallow and Milk Foundation swatch here. Here is the Second Skin Foundation. So it's maybe a little bit more liquidy. It also has a little bit less warmth in the color. So it's maybe a little bit deep for me, but honestly, this one did similar to the Tallow and Milk Foundation, that I blended it out a little bit with my fingers and then blended it the rest of the way with the sponge. And Second Skin, both of these foundations, Second Skin. I would rather my foundation have more of a Second Skin finish than have any matte, dewy, satin claims. I would rather it look more like my skin, and then it can be in one of those directions. This foundation, I would say Second Skin, maybe leaning matte. It's so pretty. I have slightly enlarged pores right here. I don't have the most enlarged pores, but I also don't really get bothered by them. I put the Blue Tansy Foundation Primer and the Second Skin Foundation, and I don't know where my pores went. This foundation is so blurring and is so nice, and I've been wearing it, like I said, 7 hours plus at this point. It looks so good. I'm so excited. Both of these foundations are beautiful. I think that this shade matches a little bit better for me. I find that if I go toward the lightest shade option available, it tends to be the wrong undertone. So I like to go for one, like maybe the next one. And I think that this one blended out really well. I didn't mix it with anything. It's maybe a little bit deeper than my neck, but that's okay. And again, blending it out with my fingers just a little bit and then with the damp sponge tends to help it settle into my right skin tone a little bit more. They don't claim that. That's just my experience. I believe, and this could just be in my own head, that this one is meant to be a little bit fuller coverage than the Tallow and Milk. So this one, maybe a combination of the two, because some days I like to do full glam. But in my own head, I'm kind of seeing the Tallow and Milk as more of an everyday tinted moisturizer type of foundation, and then the Second Skin liquid foundation maybe being a little bit more full glam. I may be combining them. I will be picking one or the other most days. I also have my Sydney Grace powder foundation that I really like. It's very pretty. I tend to reach for a liquid foundation on the day-to-day as opposed to powder foundation, but that one is beautiful. Last item here, we've got the cream concealer. This is coconut oil based, I believe. Yeah, coconut oil based with sunflower seed oil and some waxes and then like 5 other ingredients. So low on the ingredients, we like that. This one is more white and bright than I expected. Obviously, I made it work for me today, and I did not mix it with any other concealer or anything like that. I also have been more into not using a separate concealer lately and just using my foundation. I like the serum leaning foundation, so both of these are perfect in that. But anyway, using that up under my eyes. But I did go for the Kingdom Come Home concealer today, and it's a thicker consistency. I put it on under my eyes. I gave it a minute to dry, and then I started blending it out with a brush and then wiped off the excess on the brush and then went back in with my damp sponge and used that to finish blending it out. It really went into the skin. It looks really natural. And there's something about I think the texture, the consistency of the concealer that and it could be a combination of that and then using the damp sponge, that it's not like, it gave me coverage without looking like this under my eyes. So I will definitely continue using this. This is going to be, especially this shade compared to either foundation shade, this is going to be more of an under eye concealer as opposed to like a spot concealer on my face, but I'm okay with that. I also have other concealers that I'm working through, so I'm happy with it. I'll continue using it and keep you posted on my thoughts, because I can't not talk about Sydney Grace. Well, I don't have anything like new Sydney Grace to add to this video, like another purchase. I have reopened, well, opened for the first time, my Cloud9 powder. This is a new one. I believe they just have like sheer shades now. They don't have fair, medium, and deep or whatever they had before. This is from before they switched over, but I had been using my RCMA No Color powder. Still love that one. Just decided it was time to give my new Sydney Grace powder some love, so here we are. Of course, I also have Sydney Grace gel and brow powder in my brows, and a Sydney Grace powder blush on my cheeks to top the Adele blush. And I think that that is everything that I have on my face today. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I have been loving these things. I am now trying to slow down my purchases and just enjoy what I have. That's not to say that I won't be adding more things to my collection, because I definitely will be. Just to recap, brands were Kingdom Come Home. I have an affiliate link that will be in the description. Elevate Beauty, Adele Natural Cosmetics, Mama Max Organics, and Candid Naturals. Oh, and Sydney Grace. Like I said, I don't have like a purchase here to add to Sydney Grace, but you guys, I have an affiliate link and an affiliate code with Sydney Grace. Sydney Grace is like the first brand that got me excited into the indie world. I think it's so fitting to talk about them in this video of indie brands that don't just do eyeshadow. Obviously, Sydney Grace does eyeshadow and they do it well. They also have several other products they've added to the line. They already had several when I had first found out about the brand, but they've been adding to the line since then. And they gave me an affiliate link, an affiliate code. I'll include those in the description below, but thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Let me close us out with a little Bible verse. This is going to be a little bit longer than I had thought. I've been thinking about doing this for a while now, like adding a Bible verse to the end of my videos, and I hadn't done it. I also haven't been filming much. So we're gonna add it today. This one is 6 verses, but stick with me. This is Hebrews 3:1-6. Therefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our confession, Christ Jesus, who is faithful to him who appointed him, as Moses also was faithful in all his house. For this one has been counted worthy of more glory than Moses, inasmuch as he who built the house has more honor than the house. For every house is built by someone, but he who built all things is God. And Moses indeed was faithful in all his house as a servant, for a testimony of those things which would be spoken afterward. But Christ is a son over his own house, whose house we are if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm to the end. Thank you all so much for being here today, and I hope to see you in the next one.